10 fastest growing costs for older Americans from CNBC. It's pretty interesting. According to the Senior Citizens League, the Senior Citizens League I'm sure they're out of Virginia because they're a lobbying group that you always hear about every year. Right about this time comes to Social Security cost of living adjustments. All right. 10 fastest growing costs for older Americans. Number 1 is prescription drugs. Hey, but Part D was supposed to handle that. Hey, but Big Pharma isn't a free market. Hey, but you can get prescription drugs everywhere else for cheap. Hey, but Big Pharma's making big bucks, and yet that is the number 1 fastest growing cost for prescription drugs. That's shocking, right? I got a guy who I like on my channel who goes, "Oh, every time you reach for an aspirin, you should thank Big Pharma." I said, look, we can thank Big Pharma all day long. The facts are, when the government is supporting the business and mandating that you buy products essentially via vaccines, via insurance and all this stuff, at the end of the day, you can always say thank you for government supporting a business. And his whole argument was, Big Pharma is in free market, we shouldn't infiltrate the free market. There is no free market in vaccines. There is no free market in drugs. It's completely 100% financed by the U.S. taxpayers. We finance it. It's socializing the risk and privatizing the profits to Big Pharma. We, the taxpayer, finance it. They get to keep all the benefits in terms of profits, and we pay exorbitant prescription drug prices. That's a fact. The rest of the world, off our back, our taxpayer gets a hell of a lot cheaper, and yet somehow we are to blame for saying, wait, this system is messed up. Actually, it infuriates me because I'm sitting there thinking, whoa. If I can get the same prescription drugs south of the border, exact same thing, how come I got to pay 8,000 million times more here when we are the people who financed and subsidized the R&D? And yet, at the end of the day, the profit margin, we subsidize it, we finance it, and the profit margins goes into the same people who are charging us exorbitant fees. It's nuts. Thanks, Joe Manchin, EpiPens, and prescription drugs. Generic brand, especially per year out of pocket, $4,000, man. $4,000. There you go. All right, Medicare Part B. Hey, Medicare for all. Oh, yeah, Medicare is free. It's free. Just show up and it falls off the Medicare tree. Part B was 40. That's physician services. Was $45 in 2000. Now it's $150 in 2021. And my right capital, I assume, is going to grow at 5.5% a year because that's what the CMS says, the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services. So, homeowners insurance. Well, the cost of homes have gone up, so that doesn't shock me there. Homeowners insurance are now $1,400. Veterinarian services, for your pups. Speaking of which, there, Pablo. It's gone up on 61. Home heating oil. Thanks, Obama. Home heating oil has gone up to 150%. Yeah, but you're going to use your solar panels and wind to heat your home. Yeah, good luck with that. Total medical out-of-pocket cost per year, $6,000. Yeah, this seems a little bit pricey to me. Total medical out-of-pocket cost. I'm assuming that includes a thing on here. Yeah. I'm assuming that medical cost includes your prescription, your premiums on Part B, Part D, your supplement if you get Medicare Advantage, as well as your total out of pocket, $14,000 a year. Yeah, I usually use about $5,000 a year per beneficiary once they're on Medicare. That seems a little bit pricey to me, but it doesn't make. Potatoes have gone up by 134%. You can save that by growing your own potatoes. Propane gas. Thanks, Obama. I always like to say thanks, Obama. It's just fun. Propane gas has only got by doubled. Essentially, that's not so bad. I mean, over a course of 20 years, that's going to be 3% rate of increase. It could be a hell of a lot cheaper if we got the pipelines going. Ground chuck has gone by 127%. Gasoline again. So a lot of this has to do with the fact they're putting regulations, restrictions on fossil fuels, research and development, mining it, pipelining it, and whatnot. On top of incentives to buy solar, wind, and all that's nuts. But real estate taxes have gone up. Well, that would make sense as well as homeowners insurance. And again, I always say their biggest cost is going to be your housing. So that if you can get rid of your mortgage, that would go a long, long way to reducing your total cost of retirement. I'm just telling you. But you're still going to have homeowners insurance, and you're still going to have real estate taxes. And if you have a homestead exemption in your neck of the woods, man, you better be looking at that county to take advantage of it. Like I said here, and I'm in Fulton County. I didn't know I had a homestead exemption. had to be 65. You could just say I got a homestead exemption. Save me like $800 a year, like 10% of total property taxes, man. And I didn't know that for the first, I guess, 5 years we lived here. So I spent another about $5,000 in property taxes I did not need to. But they secured my vote. All right, we'll see ya.